Welcome back to You Special. We've been discussing corporate social responsibility, whether their projects, their green projects, is in fact a will from the company's side, or whether it's just another way of dumping work on maybe students like here and getting their work done for a greener environment tomorrow. Let's get some thoughts here. You have a point?
I think CSR is very important only because corporate companies do emit carbon, and nothing wrong in they wanting to offset their carbon emissions, and that way we students, when we approach them to do projects, they fund our projects, and it's beneficial for the students and for NGOs who want to do projects, which is of direct impact and is of grassroots level.
Okay, you agree with that?
Yeah, I would say that corporates are here for making profits. So if they have a gap of taking care of the environment, that gap can be filled by students. So it makes sense for them to work in coalition with us.
Okay. You're saying that the will is more than enough. It's a great step by the corporates itself. But you don't agree with that. You think they just dump their work on students like, one of us and get their work done?
Because one thing, I don't think they have concentrated in their part of doing something for the environment. And finally, when they're really feeling guilty or something like that, they start this college stuff and they start connecting with colleges. And all they ask us to do is, within this time limit, you need to do this, and we'll come and check, and everything should be ready. And if you're not, then your college name goes down. Now, why are they putting it on us?
All right. You've got a view here, Haripriya. Go ahead.
When it comes to industries and corporates involving in environmental work, I think it has to come from their side also, as we've already been talking about. And one important thing when it comes to some kind of industries is the way they manage their waste. And there are also existing regulatory bodies that take care of monitoring these companies, and I don't think it's a fair way in which they're working already. So I think they need to come out of what they have not been doing and come into action and do something for that also.
Avinash, yes, go ahead. You've got a point.
Yeah. And the thing is, for example, say you have a factory which goes on polluting the, the environment around it, and this corporate company which manages the industry, gets like 4 to 5 students, say 20-25 students at max, to plant 5-10 trees. What big effect is it going to make on the environment? So as she said, if they have an effective way of managing their waste, then that's better than, going around, starting publicity campaigns, which basically target a very small group.
Okay. Avinash, you said that not all companies really can do something like a CSR.
Yeah, personally that's because say for example, let's consider the pharmaceutical industry. They come up with medicines that are life-saving. But when you want to come up with medicines that are life-saving, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of processes. These processes are generally, emitting a lot of poisonous gases. So do you want to save lives by producing these medicines and preventing diseases, or do you want to kill them by just leaving them to emitting those poisonous gases? So that also brings in that the company is being conscious about the environment, because they're not they're saving lives as well. So that is a CSR. So basically pharmaceutical could be considered a CSR as well. And moreover, companies cannot cut down on pollution. I mean, if they were to, have a independent body within them to control, environmental issues, it beats the purpose of a company.
You want to counter that?
Okay, essentially you're saying that a pharmaceutical company is its own CSR because it saves lives. And you say that medicines save lives, but pollution also kills, all right? So you're going to have people producing medicines that saves life, while the pollution that those medicines produce in the manufacture are killing lives or taking lives. I don't see how that works. I'm sure that given modern technology, a lot of drugs need these impure processes to be manufactured. But I'm sure if companies really wanted to, they could come up with something that would help cut down on the emissions that are produced.
Yes, that brings us back to the laws that govern us. So basically, we cannot test on living beings. We cannot test on animals. We cannot test. So that brings us to the process that we need machine-made medicines only.
Okay, so tell us, maybe according to you, what do you think a pharmaceutical company in our country could do as part of CSR? What could they do for the environment?
Yeah, so
Would you have a
basically,
suggestion?
what pharmaceutical companies could do for the environment is probably fund other, companies or organizations that are oriented towards these climate change. I mean, like if every corporate company was supposed to become environmentally friendly and they should care only about the environment, it beats the purpose. Computer companies coming and saying that, okay, I'll be only environmentally conscious, I won't use computers, means they cannot come up with any more software solutions. We will not be progressing.
You have a view.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that they don't have to use computers, but it can be done in a different way. Like how many of the computer companies are coming up with power-saving devices, energy-efficient computers and laptops. So there is always another way in which they can be environmentally conscious.
Absolutely. Even we have cars for that matter coming up with their hybrid cars, which is also perhaps a good option for many. You have a point of view, Zishan?
Yeah, of course, we can't keep blaming corporate companies. They are not doing like this. Within a night, they can't cut down all the things. They are doing step by step. They are taking some step. At least they are taking steps to do something.
That consciousness within the company itself is good enough. All right. Now, yes, go ahead. Please pass the mic. Yeah.
I'd like to agree with what Zishan said and just add that I think here what is needed is a regulatory body such as the government playing a role. Something like taxes, permits, the kind of carbon credit system that has to be that has to come into place because that would have an approach, a scale that is much higher than the scope that is possible at the moment. So I think governments play an important role here.
Yes, absolutely, because governments are the one who are in charge. Go ahead. Let's get points from here as well. I'll come to you in a moment. 1 second. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, rather any initiative without any result I think is of no use. So rather than keeping on blaming on CSRs, I think it's the role of every individual to take steps to prevent the environment disasters.
Okay, let's get the importance of the role of the government. You had a point?
Actually, I think that while the government's role is important, what tends to happen is that because of the whole corporate responsibility thing, governments tend to focus more on giving corporates tax benefits for their environmental thing. And the common man, the people in rural areas who really need help, they are not in focus at all. Because
all right. You have a point. Quickly.
We are talking about CSR. One thing we have to understand is that in a country like India, 90% of the emissions are from the agriculture, from the rural areas, not from corporate companies. So the corporate companies can't go to villages and do environmentally friendly activities. They can only fund. So
you think it's not possible?
It's not possible. That's not their job. They can only fund such
All right,
projects.
let's get one last comment for this segment.
I think it is possible because as part of their CSR, I think they can take up these villages and take up these agricultural sectors and see what is the change they can make over there to make it environment friendly.
All right. Well, that brings us to the companies itself, where they have to, be self-conscious and have a will. At least that itself is a starting step. We're going to get in the role of the youngsters because that's what's most important here on News Special, and that's why we're here today. That's coming up on the other side.